The church is the Church of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, Roscommon Town, and it's dedicated to the memory of Dr. Galuli, who was the Bishop of Elphin. The foundation stone for the church was placed on the 17th of March 1897, and the church was dedicated on the 18th of June 1903. Well, prior to the Reformation, the Dominican Abbey in Roscommon would have been used as the parish church for Roscommon Town. During penal times, there was a penal church on Chapel Lane in Roscommon, and in fact the Holy Water Font, which is still in the Sacred Heart Church, dates from 1717. After the relaxation of the penal laws, the Catholic Church acquired what is now the Bank of Ireland in Market Square in Roscommon, which was originally a sessions house, and that was used as a Catholic church up until the Sacred Heart Church was built and opened in 1903. Money was scarce in the mid-1890s, scarcely 50 years after the Great Famine. Funds were not just collected in Ireland, they were collected in places as diverse as Argentina, America, London, Liverpool and the north of England. The building contractor for the church was Mr. Fee from Longford, and the architect was Mr. Kilgallon from Sligo. There are many interesting features at the front of the church, including the all-seeing eye, telling us that God sees everything, and the Alpha to Omega letters, first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, and reference to the book of Revelations. The Sacred Heart is also displayed in mosaic on the front of the church, and the great rose window, which is the work of the famous Venetian artist Salviati, is a wonderful feature of the church. The church is unusual insofar as the main entrance door to the church faces east, and the altar is in the west, which is different from the normal orientation of church. This was done because the site is quite narrow and it wouldn't have been feasible to have the main door at the other end. It would have caused traffic congestion, etc. The church is in the ornate Gothic style, and the stone is limestone, which came from a quarry in the townland of Treman, approximately 4 miles from Roscommon Town. Aberdeen granite from Scotland is also used in the construction, and the pillars within the church and 1 or 2 outside are made from Aberdeen granite. The tympanums above the doors on the church represent different religious scenes. The tympanum with St. Vincent de Paul, the tympanum with St. Lawrence, and the centre tympanum over the main entrance door with Christ, Dr. Galuli, and various figures of religious significance. The clock was made in Derby, England, and above the clock in the belfry there's a bell which was cast in the Fountainhead foundry in Dublin. It emits a tenor C sharp, soft tone peal when it's rung. The total height of the belfry is 175 foot, surmounted by the 15-foot cross. At the western end of the church is a statue of St. Michael the Archangel, and he's shown with his sword down, pointing towards the ground, so it signifies that the battle with the great dragon has been fought and he has won, and his sword is now at rest. Moving into the church, we have the magnificent stained glass windows with dedications to the sponsors incorporated in each of the windows. The pulpit, which was made by the same makers of the High Altar, St. Joseph's Altar and Our Lady's Altar, is a magnificent example of its type. The funds for the construction and the erection of the pulpit came from members of the Royal Irish Constabulary. The corbels above the pillars in the nave are surmounted by heads of the 12 Apostles of Ireland, including St. Moby, St. Canis and St. Columba. The Stations of the Cross are made from crushed stone, and they're in the style of the Munich school, which emphasises chiaroscuro and realistic figures. The script under the Stations of the Cross is in Old Gaelic script. The cantoria at the rear of the church is an exact copy of the cantoria of Donatello in the church of Santa Maria del Fiore in Florence. and it features celestial angels playing music. The organ was made in Sheffield and it cost £1,000. £500 of the cost came from what were described as the women of Roscommon, and the other 500 came from the famous philanthropist Dale Carnegie. The organ is in an oak case with silvered pipes and keys made from ivory. The marble and ceramic floor terrazzo are also the work of Salviati, the famous Italian terrazzo worker. The tree of life, which stretches from the front porch to the altar rails, refers to the parable of the mustard seed. The standards of masonry and carpentry in the church are of the highest quality. There are 4 confessionals in the church, 2 in each transept. They are finely carved in oak and feature scenes from the Bible. The high altar is in the Gothic style of the 14th century, and it incorporates an exact copy of Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. The Tabernacle, funding for the Tabernacle was donated by Senora Margarita M. de Morgan of Buenos Aires, and there's a golden heart above the Tabernacle inscribed with her name. The sanctuary is also adorned with mosaics and includes a copy of Botticelli's The Glory of the Angels. The 12 apostles are depicted in blind arcades above the north and south transepts of the church. There are a number of statues in the church, including St. Joseph, Our Lady, the Sacred Heart, St. Therese of Lisieux, St. Peter, and St. Anthony. The grotto depicts the crucifixion scene at Calvary, and surmounted above the grotto is the original stone cross from the former church, now the Bank of Ireland, in the Market Square in Roscommon. The Parochial House was built some years after the church and features an interesting ceiling painting, which is also echoed in the church in Kilgallon, which has a similar ceiling painting. The Church of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, Roscommon, is a welcoming and spiritual place, and it plays a pivotal role in the life of the community in County Roscommon. It is a living church which is supported by the community that it serves.